Batwing #1, written by Judd Winnick, art by Ben Oliver, colors by Brian Reber. I'm going to give him a shout out too, just because the colors in this are fantastic. Batwing, for those of you who didn't know, Final Crisis happened, apparently, or it didn't. Who knows? But after that, Grant Morrison's Batman took a swing into Batman Incorporated, which was basically Bruce Wayne funding a whole bunch of Batman all over the world. One of which was an African-based Batman named Batwing. And these are their stories. Dun dun. So, Batwing opens up with I guess what's currently happening. It's just a fight scene. Batwing versus some dude we don't know who's wearing a skull mask and a bunch of armor. He talks about how the dude is, full of rage, but it's still calculating, and he is armor, but it's nothing against Batwing armor. But he's still managing to get in some good shots. Finally, he gets Batwing down, and he starts moving towards a bus and says how he'll honor them all in blood. Okay. Cut back 6 weeks ago, and Batwing is chasing after a group of warlords, soldiers, I don't know, a group of guys with guns who are shooting him down out of the sky. This is in Tinashe, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. That is Batwing's home base location, is that city. They're chasing after a man named Blood Tiger, who is a former captain of a warlord, and was basically... They were tracking him down because he was about to make a deal to bring in the largest amount of heroin into... Was it the country or the city? It was the city. Ever. But he ran away and couldn't figure out why. So anyway, they were chasing him down. They got their hands on him. And when I say they, it's Batwing, and Batman is also there because, of course he is, providing some backup. And Batwing's talking to the guys like... Dude, why are you so afraid? You are a captain of a warlord. What could possibly have you this scared? And he's like, please don't let me... I don't want to be butchered like a cow. Literally his words. And then they're like, what are you talking... And they go and they check out the meeting place, and it's just bodies. Bodies and blood all chopped up. And on the wall, written in blood, is the word wrong. So Batman takes the back seat, and he's like, how do you want to proceed with this? And Batwing tells him, all right, let's just take some samples and leave the rest for the authorities. Cut to Batwing's alter ego, David Zavimbe, who is the authorities. He is an officer, a police officer who immediately brings up this case to his coworkers. And is like, hey, what do we know about this stuff? What came back? Let me see the stuff. Coworkers like, dude, it was a bunch of... And coworker's name, because I think she's going to be important, Kia Okuru. She's a good cop in a bad cop's world, just trying to make do. Basically, Batwing just wants her to, be a better cop in a very corrupt area, because they were pretty much already closing the case, despite the fact they didn't have any, because it's drug violence. Like, who cares? As long as the drug dealers are dead. But he persists, and he's like, are you sure that maybe you didn't find a clue there? One that seems a little bit obvious for people to find? And he's like, well, we did find a wallet with an ID. And he's like, oh, you did? I wonder who left that. What a shock. What was the name on the ID? And they bring up the name on the ID. It was Dede Yaboa, who... Just a guy who worked in agriculture in a professional part. Oh, and this is, by the way, when I say they now, they're now back in Batwing's Batcave called The Haven. Got a bunch of tech stuff going on there. And who I can only assume is going to be Batwing's Alfred, Matu Ba, who's just a cool dude. Got a Hawaiian shirt and a eye patch. Looks awesome. So they're looking up Dede Yaboa. Can't figure out why he'd be in with a bunch of drug dealers, until they discover that he was actually one of the first superheroes in Africa. When all the superheroes started popping up, he was part of a team called The Kingdom. His name was Earthstrike, and they basically saved their country. They freed it from some violent revolutions and saved their country. And he's trying to figure out why this superhero was in this place. So he's thinking it over. He's trying to figure out... what he can do as a police officer as he's going back into the office. And when he gets there, All of his officers have been butchered, same way as the other place, with blood on the wall saying, "Stay away." He takes a moment. He feels guilty for pushing the investigation before he gets a machete through his chest. And the dude that we saw from that opening fight with the skull mask says how he's late for work. End of issue. So David's dead. I'm sure he isn't, but it seems like it because tis just a flesh wound, I suppose. Anyway, Batwing #1. Art is incredible. I really like the painterly style that Ben Oliver, and again, Brian Reber, I gotta give him some props on it because the coloring is great as well. I really like the art style. The only problem I might have is, I don't know what it was, but like the sequence where he's tracking down the warlord captains, something just felt off about the layouts. I can't put my finger on it exactly. It's just like maybe a bit too much white space, I think. I don't know. But something was off about the layouts, but it's minute compared to how good the art is in the rest of it. I really am a fan. Writing-wise, I do like it. I think it's going to set up some bigger stuff moving forward. I think they're setting up a whole big thing for Batwing, especially because, I mean, Batwing is a fairly new player. He's not had any focus before, so they're able to do pretty much whatever they want without any sort of fan backlash. So no, I'm definitely down for this book. Ratings-wise, I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8.5. It's a very solid first issue. Goes ahead and gives me everything I need to know about the characters without just overly expositing and like whatever. It just keeps it in a brief narration box from David. So I like it. It's a very solid pickup, and I would definitely check it out.